we need to check if the financial reporters who are making these paper financial reports in each government agency is really an accountant, because I've heard that one of I think the one who prepared the financial report for the office of the vice president was saying that, oh, what I know is that I only prepare the financial statement and I'm not even sure if it's right, and I'm not even notified if it's right or not. So through the years, sa 4 na taon na nandun siya, she did not even care to check if it's right. Unang-una, yung question ko talaga dyan, accountant ba yan? Because there were companies and organizations I went to, and then soon I found out that the person who are handling really critical key role having this computerized system for accounting, na hindi pala sila marunong ng basic entries for the transactions. Imagine to that. So even if it's computerized, kung hindi mo alam yung basic entry, how would you be able to know talaga if tama? Because I was a finance officer of Madrigal Foundation, and for a short time I was able to find out, even if they are using computerized accounting software, my goodness gracious, I found out that their report has discrepancy in millions. Imagine, millions. And I tried to ask the person I was replacing at that time, and I found out that she could not even know the basic entry for a specific transaction, which is recurrent. I mean, it's a repetitive transaction for that particular foundation. And so I said, oh my goodness, so this is it. Wala pa nga yung mga fraud dun eh. Wala pa yung nakawan dun. Technically speaking, the technical people in the first place are faulty. Pero, nung tinignan ko, accounting daw yung background. I do not know what's going on. So, how could we even reach the point of if tama yung pag-o-audit? Na in the first place na, sa accounting pa lang, bookkeeping pa lang mali-mali na. I think that's pretty stupid thing. It's a basic thing. Why would you handle an exact science of bookkeeping and accounting if you are not from that field? I just saw a video today of NewYorkVoiceCoaching.com wherein minention doon ni Joshua, the vlogger who made a video about it, that in music people needs to sing as an artist, because if they sing like an accountant, which is exact, it would not be very sweet. I mean, the exact word that he said is that if you are an accountant, be an accountant. It means to say that he was saying that it's really exact. When we're talking about artistry or art, we could, we could be very dynamic and artistic, and we could do things with animation as you want it in a fashion like that, because it's an art. But when we talk about accounting, it's one exact science that we need to deal with. As he said nga, and may I quote Joshua of NewYorkVocalCoaching.com, that if you're an accountant, if you do not do it right, you are in a darn trouble, right? But if an accountant does it right, life is sweet. Imagine, life is sweet. That's how an artist has described it. So imagine, we are talking of accounting of a public fund. Public fund. Kaya natawa talaga ako. Sorry guys, kasi there were even comments that, my goodness, 2020 na, the same daw yung rating through the years daw. The same daw yung sinasabi ng COA na high rating nga. Example, yung OVP. Sorry ha, ngayon ko lang kasi to nabigyan ng attention. Ngayon lang kasi ako nagkaroon ng wifi freely. And ngayon lang ako nagkaroon ng time. I was really pretty busy all these years about a lot of concerns. Hindi ko nasasabihin. Ngayon ko lang po siya nakita. So I really felt funny when I saw that it's expressed in that way that, oh, high rating. Kasi yung auditing po kasi, opinion lang yun yung ibibigay ng accountant. If we're talking about private sectors, no, in the business world, I haven't honestly handled any government agency accounting for that matter. Pero basically, it's the same. Customized lang, kumbaga yung accounting system for agency. May konting, ano lang yan, difference. But basically, we're talking about an accounting as the basic language of reporting what has been the financial operations that was with the funds that was entrusted to a particular organization, and in this case the government, in a particular agency, in a particular office. So titingnan natin na parang nag-excuse na yung gumawa ng financial statement na hindi niya nga raw alam kung tama. Imagine, dependent siya dun sa magiging comment. So, kung wala mag-comment, okay lang. Sa kanya, life is sweet. No? So, ngayon ko lang nakita, mali na yun sa audit, kung totoo man yun. Kasi parang sanga-sanga siya. I saw the tweet of Rappler and CNN Philippines. Hindi ko pa nakita yung iba kung nag-report din sila in the same way. Pero from that news agency, diba, kasi in journalism we need to know also the field that we're reporting, kung tama yun, that even the terms that we're using, diba, down to the office. Bakit ganon? Kung may mali man yung pagkakasabi ng news agency, you should be having a reaction to it. You are so active in the Twitter, I could see it. The VP is so active in the Twitter. And balik dun sa balik also dun sa COA. Bakit hindi, kung mali yung sinasabi ng news agency, even just in the Twitter, bakit walang feedback yung COA natin? Actually, may nakita lang akong feedback. Wala ngang actual interview there eh. From COA daw yun, reacting only like this week lang. Diba? Yung news about it, I got like 2 weeks ago. So, I made a comment in the Twitter about it. So, ganun po yun. Parang we need to root out. Tapos ngayon, ito yung reaction ng accountant. So, ang nakikita ko lang dito, technically, is she really an accountant? Because if she is, alam niya yung generally accepted accounting principle. Tinatanong niya kung tama or mali yung ginawa niya. So, ibig sabihin, dinoktoran mo lang yun. I repeat, this is an exact science. If we mean zero talaga yung bottom line, zero yan. Hindi yan pwedeng maging 1. At kung 1 naman, hindi yan pwedeng maging 0. Because 1 would already mean fraud. So, alam nyo, yung natatawa lang ako, parang, are we talking serious here? Especially, it's public fund that we are talking about. Hindi lang siya yung family corporation na yung owner din yung gumagamit. But, in accounting nga, we treat the negosyo as separate entity. So, ibig sabihin, hindi rin kami basta-basta in cases like big companies already, even if it's family corporation, in the business, in accounting, it is a separate entity. So, even if we are owners, we have to go through the right process if we are gonna get money out of the fund, out of the treasury, meron yung pinipirmahan, alam mo yan, mga accountant kayo, may paper trail, may approval, may sign ng mga authorized signatories, and all the required process na kailangan if you request for a fund or any resources for that matter, in kind man or in cash, may proper process, 'di ba? Hindi yan yung basta-basta kasi it's a separate entity. Much more if we're talking about public fund. Hindi lang po yan basta-basta. So, napakagandang feedback naman yun na bakit daw ngayon lang napansin. Sorry, ako po yung sa tingin ko lang, ako yung unang nakapansin kasi so far, saka ko lang nakita sa YouTube. I'm pretty much checking the YouTube uploads. After a week ng tweet ko, saka ko lang po nakita na, which is good. I was happy na may mga feedback na ganon, and especially that one Bicolano CPA also made like a detailed analysis dahil meron siyang hawak na report. And on my part, I'm limited because I don't have a copy of the financial report. So yun po, parang, come on. If all the reports have been done in the same fashion and was stated by news agency like that, it's a big mistake, a big error. And I have found it out in my experience, even in college, solving accounting problems. If I have like imbalance of 100, I should be digging more because sometimes it's not only 100 which is the problem there. There might be fraud already of millions. That has always been my principle in accounting. Kaya pag hindi ako nagbabalance, I need really to sit down on it, check on all the things. And in accounting, it's not only about money. Okay? We are not talking about only cash. We have in kinds, and all of those are also costed upon and so accounted for. Kaya nga pati yung distribution yan, it has to be with valid audit trails. Kaya natatawa ako altogether even if I don't check the financial statement of, in particular, Office of the Vice President, I know that there is something wrong. Imagine, ganon yung sagot ng gumawa ng financial statement. Even if you are not an accountant, you should be telling them na hindi ka pwedeng gagawa ng financial statement kasi hindi ko po alam. But I'm sure that you are, and you're talking stupid. You're trying to cover up something. Unang-unang hinimay na nung Bicolanong CPA that there is like 13 million pesos na unaccounted for, pero it's an expenses. Tapos parang may mga books doon that overpriced. There is fraud in your office. And if you're telling me that you've been doing those reports the same from the first year that Mrs. Robredo sat in as the VP, hindi po yan naka-quantify kasi yung audit opinion. Unless you are ranking already the offices. Tapos may sarili kang ano. Kasi in the generally accepted auditing principle, we're talking about basic language in accounting and auditing that is applicable worldwide and to any businesses, industry for that matter, and including government agencies. You're talking shit and you cannot bullshit me. May mga kasalanan kayo dyan. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Even before I check your report there or your book of accounts, nakakalungkot po kayo. That's why we have this pandemic. God is really urging me already Naga pa lang, Mrs. Robredo, ang dami ng questions. We own the land in Almeda Highway na hindi nyo binayaran. I was harassed by your staff, and that was the starting point for me to check on things na hindi ko alam na ganyan ang nangyayari dito sa Naga. And now you're doing it nationwide. Hindi ko na alam how to deal with all of this if nobody is listening enough. No? Kasi may nag-feedback sa akin na nobody naman, Anya, is listening to you. Diba? Nobody, Anya, is listening even to your opinion or suggestion. I don't care if you don't. Ang punto ko lang dito, we're talking about public fund. We're talking about repetitive fraud, errors ng mga tao, and we're talking about a common welfare fund. We're talking about the fund of the citizens of the Philippines. Hindi kasi ito yung pagharaan, hindi ito yung I'm catching your attention for popularity purposes. I'm talking technically as a professional in accounting and auditing. And good enough may nag-react ng CPA, Certified Public Accountant, because I'm not a CPA, but I've handled books. I've even came up with my own accounting system for my family's lending investors company. And from there, I was able to adapt already easily to any other kind of industry I was in. I repeat, I could really see na may mga fraud na po and corruption in your office. The way you defend yourselves there. Unang-una, mata-technical po kayo with how the financial reporter has said her piece. I could hear you, I'm sorry, from here. If you want, I'll do the audit free. Just give me all the audit trails and the financial report. I could do it for COA for free. If the Bicolano CPA wants to help me, come on. Kumbaga, let's solve this once and for all. Nagagalit na po si God. Okay? Be serious naman. Kung magnanakaw kayo, ewan ko lang kung paano nyo gagawin na hindi naman naaapektuhan yung ibang tao. Kasi ang nangyayari sa atin dito, damay-damay. I could even remember my father noon. Na may nagbulakbol sa aming isa, dalawa. Lahat kami may palo, 6 kami sa puwet. Ganun na nangyayari po sa atin ngayon. I want to tell you that. Para naman magdahan-dahan naman kayo sa mga ginagawa nyo, nadadamay pa yung mga inosente. Nag-enjoy na kayo sa pera, nadamay pa kami. Kumbaga, nanakawan na kami ng pera for our needs and welfare. Nadamay pa kami sa penalty ng kasalanan ninyo. Ginagawa nating circus ang everything. Life is serious. We could just put in you more, pero my goodness.